disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's up, bro?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Tuesdays, you got the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Thursdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with James, Joe, and Angel. And Angel. And Angel.
Oh, there you go. It froze. It froze on my end. My bad. Wednesday, we got the traditional way with Brett Shumway. Are we Thursdays now? What are we?
Yeah, we're Thursdays, and I already said that part. so you're right. Wednesdays is the traditional way with Brett Shumway and
the extra scoop. The extra scoop with Peyton Fender and Jeff Dawes. There we go.
There you go. So if you're just as confused as Angel, check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just go to the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Fellas, it's showtime. What's up, guys?
Guys, I've had a long weekend. I am so sorry. It is just,
It's all good, man. It's all good.
You're all right, bro. You're all right. You know what? I was literally just telling Gene, like, it's status quo over here. I have 4 days off. Just it worked out that way. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because it just worked out. But I don't get days off because I'm just running these kids around, man. I'm in a taxi service all day. It's crazy. I'm just like, man, I literally put 70 miles on my car today, driving in a circle. Just drive. I got the same route. And it's okay. Pick this one up, come back. Pick this one up, come back. But take you over here. I just drove around in a circle, literally 70, 75 miles. I'm like, I'm just wasting gas. It's ridiculous. But I mean, everybody's got stuff going on. They're some of them got 2 at a time. So I mean, they're in it. They're ready. Ava had auditions for the musical today. So she had the dance audition today, and I think the singing audition tomorrow, which she's ready for that, so she's good to go. The biggest problem with that is there's not many female parts, and she was really hoping for like something big this year. Mm-hmm. So the competition for what she wants is going to be pretty strong. But I think there's 3 people that she. One of them, her, and 2 of the other girls. No seniors, so she should have a really good shot. It's Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Okay, yeah.
And the narrator is the female lead.
I think I actually did that play before.
Yeah. So they're doing this play because their senior male lead is graduating this year, so they're ready. The play goes around usually who their top seniors are. And so his name is Truman. He's a phenomenal kid. We've actually known him for years because he was over at the theater that my daughter did before she started in high school. So we kind of knew that it was going to go his way, but I don't know. I just feel like the cast is a male predominant cast, but they have they're 5-1 male to female. So I just thought it was a weird choice to pick something where a lot of which this happens still, like a lot of the girls had to play male roles.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting. But I mean, I looked it up online. It's a great play. The music is great. The scenery is interesting. So we'll see how it goes and see what she ends up with.
Joe, I was just listening to what you just said, man, and I'm starting to learn that as adults and parents, we don't get a weekend. It just doesn't happen. Not for us, not for the guys. Because I'm sitting here thinking about my dad, and my dad definitely worked every Saturday, and he used to drag me and Trav along sometimes to his some meetings that he used to have. And of course, my dad worked for the government, So he would have
Mhm.
meetings sometimes on Saturdays, and we definitely would have to go to those. And then I remember him not being home on Saturdays also sometimes. So the only time that he was really home was on Sundays. And I'm seeing that for myself now also. Like there's always something that we have to do and you got to go somewhere or,
Yeah, we
something.
got competitions, tournaments, stuff like that now, especially with archery around the corner.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
for
for that shit,
if it's
bro.
not that stuff, then it's family. We're gonna try and visit with my mom. We're gonna try and visit with
Mhm.
my father-in-law, my mother-in-law. Like, we got the 3 families to get to, so we're always trying to do that. And you make it work.
Yeah, I try to let out a big sigh and tell Melissa like I don't want to go nowhere. Like I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to go nowhere. And working on Monday through Fridays, and then Sunday's champ is always here with me. So
Yeah.
Saturday is like my only day, and of course, Mel she is something she want to go somewhere. She want to do something, and I'll get to that when I about this
You know
last
what?
Saturday when it's
My
my
wife's
turn,
like
but.
that. My wife's like that. We should just get them together, and then you and I can just chill.
That is a man. I have no problem with. They can take turns coming to pick each other up, man.
Right?
We got to definitely make sure that we introduce them and make sure that they hang out in Chicago,
Yeah.
AKA.
Oh
We
yeah.
definitely got
See,
to do that.
definitely. Because I'm telling you, man, it's the same thing. She's like, "Oh, let's go over here." Even the kids sometimes are like, "Ma, we just want to chill."
Hmm.
And I'm like, they want their chill time too. But yeah, I get it. Trying to make memories while the kids still want to hang around us.
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
other than that, man, it was that big Lions win. The Tigers, they kind of let us down, but they had a good run. But that Lions win, ooh, I didn't
Hmm.
expect that. Not gonna lie, didn't expect
I
that at
did.
all.
I expected it because the last 2 years we kind of got screwed over when we went down there to
Yeah.
Dallas.
Oh, I
The thing.
knew we were coming to play, but I didn't think it was gonna be a spanking like that.
No, no, I didn't know about that, but I knew they were gonna play with attitude, and
Oh yeah.
they just ran over Dallas, and it was good to
Did you
see.
see? Did you see when they were up by so much, they kept trying to run that same play to Decker?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
even Sewell, like I really wish he would have got his. I mean, it was
it
good.
looked like
I
he
enjoyed it.
did get it, but yeah, they were having fun, man.
Yeah,
Even
that's
Tom
all. It's
Brady
good to see.
made the comment like, "Man, he's like, I wish I could come out and play for this Detroit team right now." Like he said, they're having way too much fun.
Yeah, and hopefully it stays like that all season. You know.
Well, they're of course we're in the division with all the people doing good.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how good they really are because I went and looked at Minnesota's record and they haven't really beat anybody yet. They haven't beat anybody.
Okay, but
So
nobody expected Sam Darnold to do anything.
no, no, but we'll see when he starts playing stiffer competition. Let's see how he does. And I
Well,
think that's the Lions
he
next.
almost lost to the Jets.
Yeah, they play the Lions next week, right?
Yep,
So we'll see how that we'll see how that goes. That'll be a test for
in
both
Minnesota.
teams. For both
Yes.
teams. I
Well,
always even when the Lions, even when Stafford was on the team and the Lions would play, and if they won, I always would go and look at the team that they beat to see if that team was a good team or if they weren't a good team. And I would do that. I would do that all the time, and I would argue with Trav about that also because he say, "Oh, they won." I'm like, "Yeah, but they beat." They beat Cincinnati. When Cincinnati had a down year, or they would beat Jacksonville. I'm like, I can't celebrate those wins because they should beat those teams. I want them to beat teams like the Steelers and the Patriots at that time when they were good. And the
yeah.
top teams,
No, I
Green
get you.
Bay. I
I
don't, I
get
don't,
you.
I don't, I can't get excited about them beating Cleveland. Like they're supposed to beat Cleveland. You
True.
know,
Very,
so.
very true. How you
Yeah,
been, Angel?
as far as the Tigers go, man, I kind of had a feeling when they lost. Was that Thursday they lost? I kind of had a feeling they were.
Yeah.
I was like, it's over. I don't think they're going down to Cleveland and winning
No, it
another
was
game.
fun to watch, but
Yeah, it
they
was
had no business being there. It was
exactly.
next year they'll be fine next year, so we're good.
Yeah,
Angel, what's up?
Nothing, man. Just crazy weekend traveling. Just
Hey
Okay,
man, were you
you
in
were at
Minnesota?
no,
Okay.
okay. I was wondering.
no, I didn't go. I had to go see my girl this weekend. So went down there, and then that was just it.
Okay.
She's in Virginia, right?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. How
Yeah.
far is that from you?
Nah, North Carolina.
Okay.
How far is that from you?
10 hours.
Oh, dang.
Is she
But-
in
But I flew. I don't drive.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Bullshit. No, I will not.
is she in Charlotte? Or in the
Yeah,
Charlotte area?
Well, her family lives in Charlotte. She's going to school at a HBCU. She goes to Winston-Salem State. That's in,
Okay.
that's in Winston-Salem. So about like an hour and a half from her house.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's where she goes.
I've always heard about how nice it is in North Carolina. I've never been in North Carolina, but I've always heard how nice it is.
Personally, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? And this is like I've been saying this before we started going out when I was with my ex, and I used to always be in North Carolina because I would just always have to drive through there. Bro, I love North Carolina. Like I've always loved North Carolina. Before I got with my girlfriend, I've always loved North Carolina. It's nice over there. And then being with her and seeing like how like what the houses are like over there. A house that's like 300,000 or a house that's like 200,000 or 250,000 is like almost damn near 800,000 to like $1 million over here. It's crazy. Like depending on where you where I am, houses are like really expensive. So it's like it's nice over there, man. I can't lie. It's nice over there.
Yeah, you know what? One of my uncles, one of my cousin's father, he was uncle by marriage. He
Yeah.
he went and he moved there for a little while, and he came back, and I asked him, what was he doing back? How come he didn't stay in North Carolina? And he said that it's still it's still a little racist out there, and he said
Yeah.
that he said that he was like, man, they act like it's the 1940s and they don't care. They'll talk to you. He'll talk to you any old kind of way. Certain people, not everybody,
Yeah.
but certain people will talk to you any
Let me
kind of
be
way.
honest.
And he's like,
and
he's
I'm
not
gonna be
doing nothing
honest
bad.
with you. Yeah, no. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even gonna lie, right? And this and if this offends anyone, I don't mean this in a mean way. I can only talk about my experiences and where I've been.
Mm-hmm.
I really only stay where there's a lot of Black and Hispanic people. That's where I feel comfortable. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Like I really only stay where there's a lot of Black and Hispanic people. Where I see our kind, I'm like I'm there. Like that's where
but that can't work. That's not going to work safely everywhere. Like in California, I don't know if you want to be hanging out on Watts, or you don't want to be on Slauson, Crenshaw.
Listen, I'm just saying where like so I've gone.
I hear you though.
I've gone to different parts of North Carolina, and certain parts you definitely like. I don't want to stay in this area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Virginia. I've gone to certain parts of Virginia, and I'm not saying this. And I know elections are coming up. I'm not a big political guy, so I'm saying this only because I can just say my experience. It doesn't mean everyone is like this. In Virginia, there's a town called Trump Town, literally Trump Town, and they have Trump signs and Trump everything everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. Regardless of what your political views are, I don't got it. I don't throw shade on nobody. I don't even like to have this discussion. All I can say is whenever I went there and I went to an Applebee's over there, I got treated like straight crap. And I ended up just getting up and just leaving. Because I was like, I don't want to deal with no issues. Now, that town could always be like that, and they just like Trump. I'm not associating the two. All I'm going to say is just, listen, some places you definitely don't want to be. So that's why I'm not even joking.
But once again,
wherever there's Black people and Hispanic people, and that's the hub, I will stay there. And guess what? I get along with everybody. They love seeing me. I love seeing them. We know how to talk to each other, right? I'm not even joking. I'm going to say there's a quick story. I'm not even joking. There was one time I'm taking my girl out to go to an escape room, right? Mm-hmm. And we're driving to this escape room. Now, it's still in Charlotte, but Charlotte's really big. I'm guessing like Detroit's like a really big city. So there's like upper Detroit, lower Detroit, all these different areas. So I'm driving her. Place is like 20 minutes from my house. We're driving. And as we're driving, I said, man, I just feel really at home over here. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, this just looks like it's a bad neighborhood, but I know how to maneuver better in these neighborhoods. It's just I don't know why, but I just know how to maneuver better in neighborhoods. As soon as I said that, man, we heard a gunshot like way, way, way down the street. And I was like, see, I knew it was crazy over here. And then we just kept driving and then like nothing was wrong. Like I don't know. Like I just feel like just I like being in these environments. Not that I like those types of actions, but just the environments where there's a lot of like colored people. I feel comfortable in those environments. So I try to stick to those areas.
Yeah, and once again, I mean, I'm not just picking on North Carolina or the South or anything like that because you get that there's certain areas here in Michigan that's that's a little shady, you know.
Yeah, of course.
The farther and farther you get away from Detroit, and no matter whatever direction, the farther you get away from Detroit, you know, I feel less and less safe.
Well,
You know,
listen,
I'm staying in my car.
like listen, I like I'm not even trying to be funny. If I was to go to Michigan, I'm going to Detroit. Like I'm gonna go where I know the hub is. I need to see like our people. You know what I mean? Like I need to see that. If I go to, you know, if I go to Illinois, I'm probably gonna go to Chicago. That's probably where I want to go. You know, it's just it's a part of it. And Joe, I'm not trying to leave you out of this because you're black. We adopt you, so you're black by nature. So you could get to talk with this also, Joe.
I'm light skinned.
If you're broad, oh God, oh God, Gina can't even finish.
I get
Oh,
people
God.
with that at work all the time. I tell
Oh,
people that at
God.
work all the time.
Oh God. But no, it's like, if you grew up a certain way, you grew up around, a certain environment, a certain set of people, when you get near those environments, it doesn't bother you, right? But when you don't grow up around a certain environment and you see it, it's very unsettling. And that's why I say some parts of North Carolina, I can be very unsettled. Like I'm just kind of like, I don't really want to stop at this gas station. Let's just keep it moving. I'll get the next one. Like that type of deal. So, like I said, not everywhere. Not saying that that's for everyone, and not saying everyone's like that. It all depends on where you are.
I know what you mean, man. Because I think I told you on the podcast a few months ago, man, when I was coming back from Indianapolis.
From Indiana,
Yeah, it was an accident on the freeway, and I had to get off the freeway, thinking that my GPS is gonna reroute, and it's taking me through all types of farmlands and everything. Then the GPS went out, and I'm like, damn, like I don't know where to stop. My heart started racing a little bit, man, because there's nothing but little farmhouses everywhere. I'm like, I have to knock on somebody's door and hopefully they don't come up with the shotty. Like, what are you doing? Hopefully I don't run up on Elmer Fudd and nobody, shit. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Don't nobody know where I'm at. I can't get in contact with nobody. My phone don't have service all of a sudden, So luckily I just kept driving straight and I hit the freeway and I was like, bet. I can jump right back on this boy and head back home.
Listen, let me tell you something. When we went overseas with AP and the USA team, AP was funny, man. We sitting there standing in line. He said, Angel, I don't think they seen much of this Dutch chocolate around here because they looking at he said they looking at us like we
sound just like him.
This is
sound
exactly
just
what
like
he said.
him.
He said they looking at us saying, there go the Negroes. They over here. Now we invaded. I said, okay, AP, I got you. Hey, listen, man. Listen.
Wow.
It was different.
So you had a good weekend, though?
Yeah, man, I had a good weekend. How about you, Gene? How was your weekend?
My weekend was cool. It was all right. We had the boxing class Friday, so I didn't have to teach, and then Steve was there to do jujitsu, so I got to leave the school a little early on Friday night. Now, Joe, let me ask you this: has this ever happened to you? Your wife asks you to go somewhere. She's trying to plan something. She asks you to go somewhere, and you say no, you don't want to go, and she plans it anyway. Has that ever happened to you?
All the time.
That's something I got to get used to, then, huh?
Yeah.
Because Melissa asked me. She said, "So, let's go to a haunted house." And I was like, "I don't like haunted houses. I don't. That's just not my thing, you know."
Yeah.
And I was like, I really don't like gore. I was like, I think haunted houses are stupid. Like, I don't see nothing fun. I don't see nothing fun with people trying to scare you. That's not fun, and I'm not going to really be scared because I know it's a human. I know there's really not monsters in this place. I'm not really worried about that. I don't like seeing gore. I don't want to see no rats. I don't want to see no mice. I don't want to see nasty shit. I just don't want to look at that stuff. But anyway, you know, so she said, "Well, I found this place in Westland. They have some bars connected to it." She was like, "You know what? Because she was trying to do a couples thing. So her cousin was supposed to go with us, and her cousin's fiance, and then my daughter and her wife was supposed to go. So it was gonna be a group of us, but Melissa's cousin and fiance they couldn't go. So it was just me and Melissa, my daughter, and her wife. We all went. So we get there. Number one, I was like, damn, I'm thinking to myself, like, I could have swore I said I didn't want to go to this thing. that's
You thought wrong. You thought wrong.
I was thinking like as we're getting closer to Saturday, because she kept talking about it. I was like, wait a minute, I'm trying to rewind the conversation. Even asked her. I asked her. I said, didn't I say I didn't want to go to this? And she said, yeah. And I'm like, how's this working? Like, this not supposed to work like that, So anyway,
because you know what? Try to do the same thing. You try now to do that.
Oh, that ain't gonna
See what
work.
happens.
That ain't gonna work.
I know. It's a double standard. It's BS.
Yeah. So then Saturday night, what happens? It's raining. It's raining Saturday night. So I really don't want to go because I don't want to drive. I don't like driving in the rain. I don't like driving in the rain in the dark. Both of them together. Especially I don't even have my glasses. I've been procrastinating buying new glasses. So, it's kind of blurry, at night driving in the rain. But anyway, we get out there and she told me, she's like, well, if you don't want to go in, that's cool. You just sit in the bar area and hang out. We'll go in, do whatever. I was like, well, that's not going to work. I was like, people going to nag me in order to come in here anyway. Like, so anyway, I decided I go in with them. Now, it actually the place wasn't bad. It kind of made it seem like it was a nightclub as you're waiting to get inside. So we go in and there's 3 bars you have to stop at, Joe. And I was thinking like you probably like this, because as soon as you get in there, boom, you're right there at the bar. You have some drinks or whatever. Then you go inside. You can't take your drinks throughout the haunted house though. You have to drink at right there. You have to finish the drink before you can go inside and get in line and continue on with the I don't know, path or whatever. And so we do that and we go inside and instantly Melissa's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go. And I'm like, I'm like, bullshit. I was like, this is your thing.
Oh, see, now you and I got the same mindset because at this point, I didn't want to come here. Now you trying to back down. Oh no, you're going through this.
Yes. So now we're going through it, and she got her head down, she got her ears covered, she's not really looking at, and she's walking with my daughter. They're walking together, and I'm back. I'm last, and I'm just laughing at the whole thing because I'm like, I can't believe she's not even looking around at all this crap in here. She's missing all this stuff. We finally go through. When we go to after we pass the last bar, because you stop at a bar, you have some drinks, and I guess they do that to let people that's ahead of you go further throughout the thing, and then you go through whatever. Yeah. So we had the second one, she's okay. Then she's like, all right, I'm gonna look around this time. She doesn't. She keeps her head down. She walks through, not really paying attention. And now this is the thing though. She's drawing attention to herself. So now the monsters are coming after her. Because they know that she's scared. So they're coming, they're touching her, their ear, they're growling, they're trying to grab at her and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God. Here we go. Nobody's bothering me. I mean, they're jumping out. I'm just looking at them, I'm walking by them or whatever, and, we finally go through and, and that's it. The last time the last third of it, she kept her head up and she looked around and, she was, screaming or whatever, but I'm not doing that ever again. Like I don't. It was all right because I was with my family, but that's just not my thing to participate in this, right? So we're leaving, going home. As we're driving, I say, you know what? I'm not gonna get on the freeway. She's like, why not? And I was like, I don't feel like it getting on the freeway. So she said, all right, go with that feeling. Cool. I said, so what do you want to eat? We got to get some food before we go home. We decided to stop at a Coney Island. The Coney Island we like is one of our favorite ones. It's not far from our house, maybe about a half a mile from the house. I said, okay, we'll go to Vic's, get some Coney, go home. Vic's also, I like Vic's because it has a drive-through, and not all Coney Islands have drive-through. You
They
know,
should though.
they should. Yes, they should. So it's 11:30 at night, and as I go through the drive-through, and this drive-through, you have to once you turn the corner after you place your order, you got to turn a corner in order to go to the window. But when you turn the corner, you're far away from the window to get your food. So you got to drive up a little bit and then back in order to, so you'd be right there at the window. So I do that. And as I'm starting to go back, I try and put the car in park. The car, it's not moving. The gear shift is not moving. It's staying in reverse. And as I lift my feet off the brake, we're rolling back. And I stop, do it again. Melissa's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Like the car is not going into park. I can't get the gear to go back into park. Eventually I do. And I tell the guy, because the guy is at the window looking like, what the hell y'all doing? I walk around, I get out the car, walk around. I was like, something wrong with my car all of a sudden. He's like, you need to jump. I'm like, no, it's on, but it's just not moving forward. I get back in the car, turn it off, put the key back in, and I try and move the gear shift again to go into drive. It's not going past reverse. And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? Something is wrong with the car. So she was like, well, maybe try and roll forward.
This is the one you just got back?
No, my car is still that's a whole nother story. I didn't even get my car fixed yet. This is her car now. This is Melissa's car. We've been driving. So she said, well, let her, try and put it up in park and see what happens. So I put it back in park and the car starts rolling forward. So she's like, well, let it roll forward into a parking spot. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop. Maybe you should go ahead and wave me in as I, maneuver the car. Because I was like, another car could be coming in or somebody could be walking and I can hit them. So she got out and she, waved me into this parking spot. And I hit the park. And now I'm trying to do everything I could. The car's working. It's turned on, but I cannot change the gear. Then Melissa's looking online and finds out that this car has a recall. The gear shift is messed up. Yeah, we got a recall. Yeah. So now I'm like,
no kidding.
So now like it's 11:30 at night. I go in to get the food because I paid for it. I bring it back to the car. Nothing. She's looking stuff up online, seeing if there's a way for us to fix it. No way for us to fix it. So I said, okay, we're gonna have to tow this back to the house. I called 12 tow places that were supposed to be 24 hours.
Yep.
One guy told me he wasn't gonna come to Detroit. He was like, no, we don't come to Detroit. We don't come out there. I'm like, dude. He's like, I would come out there if you were coming back out this way, but I'm not going to take you anywhere in Detroit. And I said, I was like, wow. Dude, like I'm literally like less than a mile away from my house. Another person picked up. They wanted about $260 something. I'm like, for a half an hour? I mean, for like a half a mile? Like, we're gonna be at my house in less than 5 minutes. I told them no, like hell no. They were like, well, what's your budget? I was like, I'll give you $100, but I'm not paying almost $3. That don't even make sense. They were like, no, the driver won't do it for that. I said, okay, cool. So we kept calling. And I tell Melissa, I was like, you know what? We might have to Uber home. I'm like, we're gonna have to leave. We might have to leave this car because it's getting late at this point. I'm like, we might have to leave the car and get tomorrow. She was like, well, I only want to leave the car up here. She was like, you think this is gonna be safe up here? I was like, well, they can't steal it. Yeah. Nobody can steal it. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's gonna be here, So she's looking sad about it. And I'm like, I don't know what else to do, So finally, she's calling people. I'm calling people, and then she ends up finding a tow company online. Dude said he'll come out for $100. Cool, got him out, and he took us home. But when we got home, man, then he tells me, I'm like, okay, cool, I'll pay. I got my card. He's like, oh, we don't take card, we only take cash. I'm like, damn. I looked at Melissa like, you got some cash on you? She said no. So dude was like, I'll take you to a gas station or something. I said, okay, cool. I had to go to the gas station, get the money out, give it to him, tell him have a nice day or whatever. So anyway, I had the mechanic came out on Sunday. He came out. He said it'd be about $200 to fix it.
Damn.
Yeah. So he was supposed to come back today because I ended up making an appointment for him to come today. The part didn't come in when he thought it was going to come in. So hopefully he can come out here tomorrow and do it, because I got stuff to do. So, man, so that was my last few days, man.
Dang, that's a mess.
That sounds
Yeah.
terrible.
But one of the things that Melissa looked up and she said, she was like, what they saying online that like the car could have, you could have not been able to stop if you were on the freeway or something, or if you were driving. She was like, luckily we were in line, we were in the Coney, and I looked at it, I was like, well, it's a good thing I decided not to get on the freeway. Something said don't get on the freeway because ain't no telling what could have happened. Us driving 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, for sure.
Ain't no telling what could have happened. So I'm glad I took the streets. We made it home safely and everything. So yeah. But other than that, man, yeah, I just been here working on my comics, trying to figure out how the proper way to put this the business together. Up with Trav yesterday, Trav and my cousin Drew, because getting some apparel together for AKA.
How's Drew doing, bro? I haven't
Oh,
heard.
Cuz good. Yeah, Cuz is good. Yeah, he's down there in Miami living it up.
How's the baby?
Yeah, he's grown. He's big too. Christian's big too. He has 2 kids, so
I was gonna
they
say
both.
you got 2, right?
The second one, because he had the second one while he was producing our show, right?
Right. Yeah. He's walking and talking now, man. Got teeth and everything. I saw him when I was down there in July. We saw little Christian.
Let me tell you, son. I'm still kind of I'm still salty that he don't produce our show no more.
I don't even know why he I never asked him or talked to him about it. But he's gonna be in Chicago. He's coming to AKA to help out with everything wherever Travis got going on.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, for real, like I feel like we're the problem. Like that's what I feel like. So I feel like we're the problem. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, so
the problem. He got a lot going on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so other than that, man, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm just trying to put my business together for the comic because I gotta have that together, right? So I've been working on some stuff, and today I spent looking online, different things for that, and then I really need to start promoting my clothing line a little bit more. Also, I'm gonna have some stuff out in Chicago also. And Joe, you're driving out there, right? To the AK?
Yeah.
Okay. Angel just disappeared again. No, I just making sure you're gonna still be there. Trav might need us to take some stuff out there. I said I could put what I can in my van. I'm gonna try and rent a van. And I said I would ask if you had any room in yours and could throw some stuff in yours. I don't know how much stuff Travis needs to take. I don't think it's that much between both of us.
Okay.
It's probably better that you guys do that because the check it in probably be crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Man, Chicago is only 4 hours from here.
Definitely.
I would never.
It's literally like driving up north.
Yeah, I would never fly to Chicago. I don't even understand how people can do that, man. Because by the time you get to the airport early, wait around for your flight, take off, go through security, then go down to your baggage claim. That's probably 3 hours right there, 3.5 hours right there. You might as well. I want to stay comfortable. I can take my time driving, listen to my music, don't have to, I can lean the seat back, all types of stuff, man. And that time I've driven to Indianapolis so many times now. 4 hours is nothing. I've driven to Chicago a few times also. So that time goes by really, really quick, so it's nothing. But let's talk about this movie or this TV series, Warrior episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so Warrior is staged in 1878 San Francisco. And they get right into, I like shows that if you're giving me an action show, I want to see some action in the first 5 minutes. And they give it to us. You got a character, the main character, his, you find out a little bit, but his name is basically Asan. And this dude don't mess around. If you mess with him, he's gonna mess you up. He don't care about the consequences. He's got a chip on his shoulder for something. Like, he don't like to be messed with. He's real mouthy. The first episode is actually, I remember the first time watching it, and I looked at the episode a couple times, and I'm like, the itchy onion. And I was I'm looking at it going, what the hell is this show? And then you watch it and you're like, okay, I get it. So the idea is it's a very segregated time. So there is Chinatown in San Francisco, and then you have the Irish and the white, and then later on we're going to see a couple of black people, but I guess slavery doesn't exist here. Yeah,
it just ended.
Yeah, but it's not everywhere. Like, it's slowly integrating. So they don't really have slaves, but the Asian culture, they're very mistreated. But the rich people, does this sound familiar, like the immigrants, because they will tell you they're going to profit off of them. They're saying, I can get the same labor for 3 for what I would pay for 1 American. So although you have all these politics going around fighting against the Asian culture, but you also have people who are like, well, we don't want to get rid of them. We don't like them, but we like them. And so
let me ask you this.
You're going to see that through the whole show.
Let me ask you this, Joe and Angel. So this TV series was created. The idea of this was Bruce Lee's baby. This is what Kung Fu was supposed to be before they stole it from him and did, what they did with Kung Fu.
Yes.
Do you think this would have been as good if they made this back in the late 60s, early 70s?
No, they definitely modernized it for now. And it's better that way.
Yeah, I think I agree. I agree with you guys. Because I know even though this idea was Bruce Lee's, these writers wouldn't have been around at that time to make it like this.
I think Bruce Lee would pick this over what it would look like back then.
Probably so. Yeah, you're right. I think he would enjoy watching this.
Yeah, I think he would. I think you know what I think about now that you're saying that, right? So I actually didn't know that this was Bruce Lee's thought process, right? So I didn't know that. But now I wonder, right? Imagine if he was around and they did like a reboot. Imagine the choreography he probably could do. He probably would do some good choreography.
It'd be insane.
Yeah.
It'd probably be some good choreography. One thing I do like, just like make sure that I'm right, because I thought about this. This is Cole from Mortal Kombat, right?
You know what? Angel might be right. I did not look it up because the whole time I'm watching the movie, I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere. He looked really, really familiar. I was like, we've seen him in something else that we've done before, I believe.
Okay, I want to know because
Snake Eyes.
That's what it is.
Bullet Train, G.I. Joe, Vigilant, Peaky Blinders.
He wasn't in Mortal Kombat?
No.
Okay, so he played Snake Eyes then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I was gonna say, I like his, because I saw it when I was watching. I was like, man, I like this guy's fight scenes, and I like what he does.
They only get better.
Did you watch
get better?
At the end of each episode, did you guys watch them explain the making of that particular episode?
No.
Yeah.
I watched that, and he talked about he wanted to honor Bruce Lee, but didn't want to mimic Bruce Lee in his fighting style.
And you could tell that because he gives me Bruce Lee with like Ip Man, but he puts his own little spin on it, and it's really good.
Yeah. Some of certain stances he would do will remind you of Bruce Lee, and then also some of the arrogance that he would do after he beat someone up reminded you of Bruce Lee.
So he mimicked his mannerisms, but he kept the fight choreography his own.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah,
that's cool. I like that. I think that's a good way to pay homage to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think what kills actors and what kills movies are they try to make a Bruce Lee reboot or whatever, and they try to make them act like Bruce Lee, and everyone is, as we all know, like in almost any type of culture, like Bruce Lee is such an iconic fixture that it's almost like he's someone you can't be like. You have to just let him live his own legacy, because if you try to mimic him, you're actually going to hurt your own career in doing that.
Yes.
So, yeah, okay. All right. I was just wondering. I knew we saw him in something. I just thought it was Mortal Kombat.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Joe.
So he gets off the boat, and he's basically telling one of the other, all these immigrants are coming off this boat with him. And one of them has his food knocked down, and he's going to pick it up and eat it. And Assam is telling him, like, no, don't give them that satisfaction of eating dirty. And he's like, I'm hungry. And he's like, no, man, don't do it. And so the guys who are like the security checking papers out the boat, they want to get in a fight. So they start a fight with him. And of course, he takes them out. No problem. So he's approached by another Asian gentleman who's he goes by Chow. And Chow, okay, so I've seen all this. So Chow is the guy who he doesn't have a side. Like he has a side.
That's evident. Yeah, that's evident.
He's for profit. Okay. He's here to make money. And he talks about it very often. He doesn't care. You pay him the right price, he can get you what you want. So he sees this as an opportunity. And this is where the whole onion comes from, because he goes to one of the gangs in Chinatown. So there's two rival gangs. And he takes them to the one and sells him to the leader's son, Young Jun. Now, Assam came here with his own agenda. He had a picture in his hand of a woman, and you slowly start to see, and you find out at the end who he's looking for. But he's got to kind of go with the flow. He does not want to join this gang. He kind of gets thrusted into it because of his own smart mouth and his own, wanting to fight. And so he's kind of stuck at this point. Like, he's not getting away from this.
Yeah, I was wondering why did he just like that? He didn't come here for that. So why did he?
No, he did not. And
I was kind of surprised that he did that.
It gets crazier as it goes on, because it's going to be a problem every time. And he does eventually, like, slowly, he kind of embraces it, but he's always fighting it at the beginning. He's constantly fighting it, and they're trying to, like, beat it into him, like, this is your life now. Even though he's the best fighter there, probably, like, they don't care. Like, this is your life now. So he's got to swallow a lot of crow a lot, and he that's not his strong suit. He's very strong-willed. He's very much like he could run this organization no problem. And he knows that, but they don't know who he is, so he tries to play dumb until he achieves his goal. Go ahead.
Yep, you left out one important part, Joe. He speaks English. None of the other Chinese people speak English, but he does, because he has a grandfather that was Chinese. I love how they did that, because they start this off, you see the Chinese guys talking, and you're reading subtitles, and then the camera goes around them, and they slowly starts turning into English for us to let us know, like, now we're able to understand what they're saying. I love how they did that transition like that. I even rewinded back to show Melissa.
Yeah, do you know the first time I ever seen that? One of my favorite shows that's called Vikings.
Okay.
Does the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so when the different tongues are speaking to each other, they'll start speaking their language, and then they'll convert it to English for us. And they do the same thing with the kind of the yeah, it's really smart.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And you know what? I didn't catch that the first time I ran through this. I didn't pay attention to that. I just thought they were all speaking English, and then I caught it just like you did. I was like, "Oh crap, that's smart. That's really smart."
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I
me
wish
too.
some of these other movies that we watch that have subtitles did that.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of those are shot in China, so they don't worry about dubbing it.
Man, you know
Although
what?
they'd probably
Do it.
make more money.
We should do it. We should do it. We should get those movies that are subtitled, and we should do the voices for them.
Nah, because you would say some crazy
Man, that could be
stuff.
fun. That could be a Patreon exclusive.
Yo, you
We
would
should do
say
that.
some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, make it funnier. Make it funnier.
So Young June kind of has his own way of, he doesn't say, you're getting in a fight. He calls it a scrap. He's like, can you scrap? And Chow told him, like, this guy can scrap. And they call their fighters onions. Like, you're the bottom of the barrel. You're the onion. And that's why when you're an itchy onion, that means like you just want to fight all the time. And Assam definitely fits that bill. That's where that term comes from. So when Young June presents Assam to his dad's not impressed yet.
Right.
But at this point, the dad, all he cares about is making money and being the best of the Tongs. Like, apparently they're on top right now, and they have a peace treaty with the other group. But apparently that peace treaty is breaking down.
Man, I was wondering, like, how many people are living in Chinatown? Because it seems like the place is too small to have two rival gangs. It seems like the gang should just be one gang and just all work together. It doesn't seem like it's that many people walking around Chinatown.
But the problem is it should be that way.
Right.
And you'll see different ways why it's not right away. But there will be a boiling point because like I said, this is all the biggest problem is the labor. And you got too many politics like fueling these flames, and then you got some backdoor stuff going on. And they show a little bit right now, but it only gets worse.
Okay.
So I'm gonna skip ahead just a little bit. So basically,
we got 3 episodes to get through.
Yeah, so you got Assam that we've met. You've met Young June, and you've met the father June. Mm-hmm. June runs the Tai Fong. I think they're called. I can't remember the two.
I don't remember. I don't remember the gang name.
The two gangs, but basically they call them what one's run by Young June, mm-hmm. and the son is number 2, and then the other one is run by a really old gentleman. And the caveat to that is, we do find what Assam's goal is, because he talks about how this is basically a sausage fest where all the women.
No.
And Young June takes him to, the brothel, and we find out he's looking for a certain person. He mentions a name, and that name causes everyone to kind of like, what the hell? Something's up with that name, but everyone's like, no, we don't have that person here. We don't know them. But shortly down the road, the other group shows up looking for the person looking for Zhao Xing, who he was looking for. And so this is where he makes his mark, because I guess to be a full-fledged Tong, a part of the gang, you have to show your ability to fight. He beats the crap out of these 4 guys.
Easily, yeah.
And Young June was going to step in, and for whatever reason, the lady running the brothel stopped him. Mm-hmm. So she has some kind of clout that we don't quite know about yet, because why would she, stop him and see? But she wants to see what he's all about, and he doesn't disappoint. So he knows now that the person he's looking for is important and somehow affiliated with the other rival gang. So now his new goal is to find out like how to find them. So that's basically where we get for the first part. And then after the fight, Young June basically brands Assam, and he's a part of the gang. And the father is okay with that, but I guess there's a more traditional way of doing things that he skipped. So we find out about that later. And then we do see Toy, the brothel owner, kind of go out in the middle of the night and cause some problems. Basically, kill two Irish boys.
So that's who that was because I didn't know if that was him or the girl he was looking for.
Oh
I
no,
couldn't tell.
that's the lady who owns the brothel.
Okay.
They show her face very clear.
Oh, they did, but
Yeah.
they look similar to me, so I couldn't
Yeah, I know.
tell who was
You're
who.
not wrong. You're not
So-
wrong.
so-
You're not wrong.
Yeah, so I couldn't tell because I was like, I even have to rewind it back because the scene before that, they showed her talking with someone in the car, and they were trying to stop a war from happening between both rival gangs,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then we see that scene. But this is also the same episode that we find out who this person is that he's looking for.
Yeah, it's his
And
sister.
it's his sister. And he meets and he talks to her. And he's obviously he feels guilty about whatever had happened back in China.
So there was an overlord, and for whatever reason, I'm sure because he causes all kinds of problems, he wanted to kill Assam. To stop him, she married him, but he was terrible to her. He beat her, he raped her, he was just awful. So, and it was basically how she saved her brother. That's why he feels bad.
Gotcha.
They'll get into more of that down the road. They'll go back to his training and stuff like that.
That was another thing I was going to ask. They have not said how he has the type of training that he has. Like, why is he such a good fighter? They haven't said anything
they
about
asked,
that.
Now, 2 people asked him who he trained with, and they knew who it was. So
I missed that part. Okay.
yeah, the June asked, and then the number 2 for the other clan, who basically is in love with his sister because the sister's married to the leader of the other clan, but she's in love with his number 2.
They have so many characters that have interesting stories in this show. From from the different police officers. Then we got a rogue former member of the military who's upset, and there's so many backstories and characters. I was like, wow, this was some good writing.
Oh, I'm telling you, and they're going to bring in. So the 2 police officers you're talking about have really good stories, and they get really deep into those. Especially the younger guy, he has a whole thing in Georgia that he has to get through, and then they actually bring in a CIA guy later.
Okay,
that's even crazier. I don't even know who came up with that, but this is like early CIA 1800s. It was crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting. So the police officer, the mayor has a constituent under him who is trying to undo the peace between the 2 Tongs. So he's talking to Mei Ling. That's
why
the
was
new name.
Why was he trying to do that?
Because he needs it. He needs them at odds with each other for his own agenda. Because the mayor's running on getting rid of the Asian, even though on the other side he needs them for labor.
Right.
But so it's all that he wants to create this task force of, it's a BS task force because, and he basically takes his sheriff and puts him on it. And then we get the younger guy, one Irishman and the other one's from Georgia.
And nobody likes him. They don't like him because he was a Confederate soldier. Even though that's interesting, he's a Confederate soldier, and you would think he would be the bad guy in this show, but he's not the bad guy.
Well, the funny thing is, like, they have their own rules of handling stuff, and he's trying to like go by the book. And so he's not playing nice with everybody. That's why they really don't like him.
But no, I'm just saying because normally, if you fought for the Confederacy, you wanted slavery. So you would think that person is a bad character, but no, the actual soldier who fought for the Union is actually the bad character in this, and he does not like that there's so many Chinese people are coming into San Francisco and taking over the job. I mean, this man, a lot of the stuff that they're talking about in this show is relevant today.
Yeah,
I know, that's the crazy
That's
part.
crazy.
We get introduced to a new character, the Irish guy who runs that. Basically, he runs the rest of the. I don't know that he's a gangster, but he might as well be, because he's for the unions. He wants to get Irishmen doing all the jobs. He don't want none of the Chinamen. Like, he's done. His name is Dan Leary, and he's a big dude. And you'll see, like, he can fight himself. And he's basically trying to persuade all the cops to do things his way. And so when these two boys come up dead, like, he wants to hang a Chinaman over it.
Right.
Plain and simple. The mayor is also married to this Penelope Blake.
Yeah.
And she is the daughter of, I don't know if he's a lord or what he is, but he's some rich guy.
Yeah, that's all they kind of showed us, that he was somebody of importance. He had a lot of money.
He's building railroads, and he's the one who wants all the cheap labor.
Okay.
So he's working his angle, and he basically Byron Mercer, he basically gave his daughter away to the mayor as a prize to have the mayor on his side.
What was the famous person that did the industrialization of railroads?
This Angel, we're not one of your students. This ain't history class. I don't know shit. This ain't no damn test. What's wrong with you, man? Get out of work mode, Angel. Damn. I almost opened up my book. I'm like, what the fuck my book at? What's wrong with you, man?
Oh, bro, because you're saying that. Because what I thought about when I saw this show, I was thinking about how I kind of like shows that do this, right? When they kind of like take place like in the past, and they kind of find a way to like
history.
Like add like the like history, obviously they like, dramatize it, whatever. But they find a way to like incorporate it. So at least it gives you like benchmarks, so you can like kind of like follow the story. It actually makes it easier to follow the story. So that's why I was asking, because how you guys were saying like he must be of someone of importance. If you would know, like, again, those are like the little Easter eggs that they like the shows put. Like, if you know who did the railroad system, you could probably guess it's probably this person or whatever. So that's why I was asking. I like when shows do that. I really do. I feel like they take the time to put in the extra details, and that makes the show sometimes better.
Well, yeah, I know. I figured that Bruce Lee would know something like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
Father June's crew, they make their money dealing with molasses, so the drug industry, and Long Z, the husband to Mei Ling, they're trying to do the same thing. And so, of course, Young June goes and they attack the shipment and burn it, because he says, we're not thieves, but you're not gonna encroach on our territory. There's a lot of backstory stuff, and Long Z wants to know why this is happening, but he doesn't know that Mei Ling and his number 2 are basically trying to push him out, more or less. So they're trying to do things without his knowledge, but he still runs the show. And it's really getting difficult, because I think he knows what's going on, but he's not quite ready to like admit it. Because he does say a few things that kind of say things. And I think he does want to step down and give the business over to the number 2.
But he also does not want a war, right?
That's the problem. He actually does say that, we shouldn't be fighting each other, that it like everything's too unstable. we should work together and fight off the Tongs and the whole Chinatown. They refer to the other side of town as the pond, and they call the white people ducks.
I didn't understand that. I have no idea. I got ready to look it up.
I know that's what they that's what they refer, because what happens is Assam, he is in the, he's trying to find out more about his sister, but he doesn't want young Dune to know that, because the second that comes out, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
So he ends up on the wrong side of town, and there's Penelope is walking by, and I guess she has, I don't want to call him a servant, but I guess he's like a helper.
Servant sounds pretty. Servant sounds fine.
Yeah,
because that's what he was.
Yeah, he's a Chinaman servant of hers, and so she's getting harassed and attacked. And Assam doesn't like that, so he stands up for her and then gets arrested. And then on top of that, so now they're going to get him for assault, even though he was trying to help, which she does point out. And she does pull, I'm the mayor's wife, this is who my dad is, but they don't care. And they're also trying to drop the 2 murders on him now.
You know what was crazy about that was they did that in the middle of the street with a bunch of people around. Everybody in the town saw what happened, that she was harassed by these 2 guys, and he came to protect her. But everyone still wanted to see him go down for beating up these 2 guys who were drunk and idiots. Yes. That was crazy.
So the younger guy from Atlanta, the Confederate, as you said, he's trying to figure out, like, this isn't right and everything like that. And Assam was told earlier by Chow, like, don't let them know you can speak English, because that'll just screw everything up for you. Right. And it won't make a lick of difference. So he plays the dumb, whatever Chinaman. And so there's a guy saying there should be a protocol for this paperwork. And they say, yeah, the protocol is, if you don't know his name, he's John Chinaman.
Yeah. And that's the name that they gave him.
Yeah, instead of, what is it? John Doe and Jane Doe?
Yeah, he just took it too. He didn't try and correct them or anything.
And then Penelope shows up. She wants to talk to
She was trying to talk to everybody. She was trying to talk to everybody to get him out of there.
And
nobody would listen to her.
I know. He does eventually say something to her, and he doesn't think it's going to make a difference. And she's like, well, I'll speak up and this and that. And he's like, no, it's not going to matter. Like, they already, they're already made their judgment. This is going to be what it's going to be. Now, right. The one thing, and I kind of didn't think about it because I kind of forgot about it, but the Long Z number 2 that's with the sister, he mentions it to the sister, and the sister does take action. So she basically, when she met her brother the first time, told him to fuck off. But she still loves him. She doesn't want him dead yet. I think if he becomes more of a problem. So there's 2 witnesses against him. Basically, the 2 guys who were doing the harassing, and they're going to be the ones that decide his fate. And in the next episode, the last one we watched, she basically shows up with her hound dog and harasses this whole family, puts a knife to the kid, and tells these 2 guys, like, you're not going to show up to the trial. And so, they listen, but they can't win, like, either way, because later on the Irishman shows up and burns their house and tells them to get lost.
Yeah.
So
he
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
They should have came to him. That's what he told them, but they didn't really have time.
No, not at all. But it's funny because even without the 2 witnesses, they were the judge. Luckily, they got a good judge, but the other counselor was like still trying to he's like, oh, we got to go find these people. It's okay. Give us some more time. And the other guy's like, no, man, like, they had ample time. They know what to do. You got to let this dude go. Like, they're still trying to screw him, man. It was bad.
Yeah, because he even asked the judge asked the lawyer, was like, do you have any other witnesses? And I was just still thinking, like, all of those people were outside. The whole town should have been witnesses, but
they're not going to say none. And young June did go to his dad, and his dad's like, "Man, he's dumb for acting that way. It's his own damn fault." Dad don't care.
Yeah.
Dad's like, "I'm ready to make some money. This stupid onion that I bought for cheap, I guess he's dumb." But Dad doesn't know what he's got yet.
Right.
Dad hasn't seen him scrap, because if he did, he'd realize, like, you got yourself like a really good dude here, and you need, says, like, I haven't seen anyone yet that could, maybe young June, but he's a drunk and a hothead. So
Right.
So we get that. He gets out.
Yeah, he gets
I don't
off
think
because they don't show up. They don't show up for the trial, so he gets off, and the whole town is pissed. They're about ready to have a riot.
Before that, even the Irishman asked the police sheriff to set him up with three of his own guys with weapons, and he put him in the cell to kill him.
Yeah, yeah.
And that didn't work out the way they hoped it would.
No, and his name was Bill. That officer's name was Bill.
Oh yeah.
And then he revealed to Bill that when Bill came and looked, because Bill, he lit a cigarette up and he thought that they were going to take him out and kill him, and he came back and all of them were laid out, and he's just sitting there on his bed. And then he let him know, like, I can speak English. Like, Bill was in shock when he found out that that
he was pissed. He was really pissed.
Right.
The other thing that I forgot about Bill wants to be a good guy, but he's got a problem, and he's a gambler.
Yeah.
He's got a family to take care of. So he is indebted to the
Leary.
Leary for gambling debts. So that's why he's doing Leary, which, I don't think he's told his partner that yet. If he ever tells him.
No,
I don't remember if he tells him that.
No. I don't think anybody knows that he's in
the
trouble.
wife knows. The wife knows.
Okay.
She thought he stopped, but she knows. She puts up with it, but she knows. The mayor uses this as a speaking point, even though he's full of crap.
Mm-hmm.
And him and his advisor kind of get into it over that. He's like, now you're against the Chinese, even though you want them. Like, which one is it? So they're trying to get on the same page.
Yeah, he was a true politician. Because he said a whole bunch of nothing. He said a whole bunch of nothing.
Cho explains to Assam what happened. He says, your sister's the one that bailed you out this time. Now she wants you to get out of here, go home. Like, you're causing problems. She doesn't want you dead, but she needs you to stay out of her business. Because they're literally on opposite sides of the road now. They're, her people want to kill his people, including him, and vice versa.
Now, let me ask you this. Because Assam wanted to get out. After he spoke to his sister for the first time and she said to go away, he wanted to leave.
He did.
And Cho told him that he couldn't leave. He said, you're in it. You can't go anywhere now. Now, the sister told Cho that he needed to go. I wonder how come Cho did not try and get him out then. Because he's the guy to go to in order to get stuff done. Yes. And the sister knows that. So he should have been able to get him out of there at that point.
He could, but he's going to need money. He knows Assam doesn't have the right amount of money, and the sister's not going to pay it.
Well, if she wanted him out of San Francisco, if Cho would have said, you got to pay me X amount of dollars, I think she would have got the money.
Yeah,
she has power. She's
Cho
a powerful person.
Cho would have been but Cho would have been on the hook if he got caught doing it.
Yeah.
The Father June crew would have killed him. And then vice versa, they would have gone after and probably tortured her to find out where they can get Assam.
Maybe. I don't know, because Father June and that crew turned their back on him. So maybe.
But look what happened at the end, because when he comes back, they're having a party, and Father June comes in. First, he looks like he's all happy.
Haze him.
Yes. But
to haze him.
He said, okay, you got lucky this time. And we know you can scrap, but it's my fault for not giving you the proper initiation. So he pulls out his big fat tonfa, and at first he goes to hit him with it, and Assam grabs it, and he tells him, "Put your hand down, boy."
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like he swung that at his head. Like I'm not about to just let you hit me in the head either.
Right?
You know. So, what do you
I'm
think,
just saying.
Angel?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. Listen, there was one time I got in trouble bad, and my mom went to hit me, but she couldn't find her normal belt, so it was a metal belt. That was the one time I grabbed the belt as she went and swang. I said, "Yeah, now you not hit me with a metal belt. That's where you got me lost."
I thought she was about. I could have sworn Angel was about to say his mom grabbed a nunchuck. I thought it was going to be a nunchuck or a bow. I thought Mama Diaz turned into Donatello was swinging the bow at Angel.
I say you ain't you could hit me, but I do something bad. You ain't gonna hit me with a metal belt. That's where you lost me there. You lost me on that one.
All right, Joe. Let's wrap it up with episode 3 real quick. Let's just hit the
Um,
important parts.
yeah, so he takes his beating. They have a party.
Yeah, he got the shit beat out of him, but he got props
he
for taking that beating.
we see Mr. Buckley talking to Mei Ling. He's still telling her like, y'all gotta get something going on. Like, I need some blood in the streets. We need to get this worked out. And then, crazy enough, Assam goes to Penelope's house.
Yeah, he was crazy for that one. I didn't understand that either.
And like basically he wants to thank her, see what she's about.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's kind of scared, but she's not scared. I think she's more intrigued. And then, like I said, at the end, we see Leary burn down the house of the guys that didn't show up, and he told them, get out. Like, take your family and go. So that dude don't mess around.
Yeah.
And that's where we kind of ended. Like,
Yeah.
We're going to be getting into it. I forgot how much happens in this first season. I thought some of that happened later.
You know, I was kind of surprised. Like, man, I was kind of surprised that they were 4-hour episodes. Most of the times, most of these shows, especially the ones that have shortened seasons, like 10 to 13 episodes, most of them only have 40 or 45-minute episodes. This was like a whole hour for each one of these.
Yeah,
just
well,
about.
no, the first one was an hour. The next one was 43 minutes. And I don't know what the third one was. The first one was long, but that makes sense. I feel like the first episode of any like series, like the pilot should always be long. It has to set the stage. So that makes sense.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys, there's some really good fights coming up, and I think it might be in the finale or maybe season 2. I can't remember. But when the number 2 of the Long Fei fights Assam, that's one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen.
Really?
Well, we got a little teaser. Just
really good
in the first episode. But actually, I like all of the fight scenes. The choreography is really, really good.
You know what I
like? They do really good with it all.
Somebody that's part of the main gang has to know somebody that's associated with the show.
We know who knows everybody.
Jeffopedia.
He knows everybody.
Well, I'll tell you what, we should try and get somebody to come on from this and talk about
to be honest,
the series and also the choreography, at least for the final episode that we do.
One thing I did like, and I will say this, I really like the effects, the visual effects, like the motion picture, like just everything, just like how like the graphics and like all that side of it.
Oh yeah,
really good job. Like I was like really into it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I thought they did a really, really good job with that.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that all 3 of us are going to give the first 3 episodes an A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Seemed like it. Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good. I still just wish that Bruce Lee could have seen what they did with his idea. And I know his daughter is executive producer.
Yes, I saw that.
I think she runs. I think she's the manager for the family. For anything with family,
she is.
Or like
she has a whole website dedicated to memorabilia and everything.
Yeah,
family. Who's left? It's just her, isn't it?
Don't be an asshole.
I'm not saying like
he's not wrong. He's not wrong, bro.
He just had 2, and we know what happened to Brandon. So it's just her and her kids, So I get it. I don't know if Bruce Lee's wife is still around. Do you know? I mean, if so, she's in her 80s.
No, she probably is.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
Well, we can look that up and talk about that next week. You guys got anything else you guys want to talk about?
No.
Oh man, I'm good.
All right, cool. So next week we're looking at episodes 2, 4, and 6. Joe, how many episodes is it per season? Is it 10 or
10, I
13?
believe.
10?
it's 10.
Okay. All right, cool. So
Wait, we're looking at episodes 4, 5, and 6, or 2, 4, and 6.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's right, Angel. Thank you. 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6. Yeah.
4, 5, and 6. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, cool. Everyone stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week, and I will play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.